As a case manager, it is important to lean on the ethical principles in order to ensure proper care of the client as well as maintaining accountability within the behavioral health field. Ethical principles also aid in client and professional safety, as well as ensuring proper treatment and services are provided, as well as accountability within the behavioral health field. The following slides will give insight on how I would apply the basic principles to case study number 2. And that child just decided to come in right there, right? Case study 2 is as follows. You have discovered that a client you have come to know and like has recently abused her son. This client has many stressors in her life, including an unsupportive ex-husband who is not paying child support and does not visit his son, and her job does not pay enough. These stressors are causing financial stress and little support for the client. She is a good mother other than this incident, and you would hate to see her son taken from her. First, we have the ethical principle autonomy. This principle provides the client with freedom to say or do whatever they feel is appropriate with no influence or nudging on my behalf as a case manager. In this particular case, it wouldn't be ethical for me to impose my morals in regards to parenting on the client. Instead, I will listen and suggest resources that would meet the need she is struggling with, such as resources for single parents as well as parenting classes. But again, more of a suggestion and not a nudge, and allowing the client to make the final decision. Next, we have fidelity. Fidelity deals with trust as well as trusting environments for the client, or in other words, the atmosphere to build trust where the client can feel safe and secure in sharing some of their most intimate feelings, ideas, as such. In this instance, fidelity would be utilized by encouraging and listening to the client, allowing them to speak their feelings without feeling like they're being judged in those feelings. Beneficence and non-maleficence are two similar ethical principles. Both deal with the idea of eliminating or limiting harm to the client, as well as putting the client's need before your own should there be harm present. In this particular case, I am dealing with my client. However, my client has made me aware that they have caused harm to another individual. So at that point, it does become my duty to appease the principals to put the child, even though they are not my client, the child's best interest at heart, and to step in or take action that would prevent harm or future harm. As we come to our last ethical principles, justice and honesty, it is important to note that in the case it did state that I have a like for the client, which shows or leads to believe that there is a personal relationship, or a personal relationship is developing. However, even with that, it is important that I adhere to the principles and maintain a professional environment at all times, regardless of my personal feelings in the matter, which leads to the justice and honesty. Justice leans to me maintaining just practices, meaning that I am adhering to ethical principles and ethical codes and maintaining a professional environment at all times, as well as honesty in the same kind of realm, meaning that I'm maintaining honesty with the client as well as with myself. And in this particular case, justice would be reporting the client for the abuse. Again, regardless of how I feel personally towards that client, that is my just duty. as well as maintaining honesty with the client to let her know that that may be a route that I am going, to give her that privilege of having that honesty. Um, Thank you. When it comes to personal conflicts within this case, there are a few. Personally, I am a person that believes in second chances. I give benefit of doubt. I love and have a strong appreciation for familial bonds, especially from a parent to a child. And then also there would be the potential guilt of separating the son from his mother. But in a situation like this, I would be more leaning towards the idea, because I don't have a guarantee that this would not happen again. I would be able to rule out my own personal conflicts and morals for the sake of protecting a child, as well as keeping the client safe. I'm sorry, keeping the client from harming someone else. So again, I would be able to separate my personal conflict from my professional duties. I would want to help the client avoid as many stressors as possible, to avoid abusing her son again, with the hopes that she won't. But again, because I'm not sure that that is a guarantee, I would have to lean toward more of the professional action of um, possibly reporting or seeking aid, or outside aid for that matter. Um, I would work through these conflicts by removing myself from the situation on a personal level, and only make ethically sound decisions regardless of my personal feelings toward the client. When it comes to Christian worldviews and ethics, and how I believe a case manager could handle or would handle the Christian worldview within this role, I can speak from that from a personal place myself. I am a Christian who obviously has adopted the Christian worldview. I would treat my worldview like my personal morals and keep them separate. I know it will present some challenges initially, but I owe it to the client to provide an atmosphere of providing ethical and sound judge decisions and resources, and not where they clash with my Christian worldviews, just the same as I would not want my morals to clash with the professional setting either. So it would not be, and I don't think it would be a problem for any case manager or any professional in the behavioral health field, to be able to decipher between their Christian worldviews and ethical principles. And if that is, I do believe that this may not then be a profession for someone in that state. My last slide is about the important ethical principles in case management, or what I feel are the most important. I would have to say that the most important principles in case management would be honesty, on the case management or case manager's side. Trust. It takes a lot of trust for a person to be able to open up and express feelings, or even express things that they need assistance with or need to be help serviced. It takes trust to be able to even open up to do that. So I believe that before you can even move into any other area within case management, you first have to build trust and honesty. And then lastly, it would be the autonomy, because they would need an open forum, or a place just to be able to make decisions where they're not feel like they're bound to what someone else is telling them to do. So having that autonomy being implemented and present, and them knowing that that is open for them, so that they can make decisions within their treatment and within their services. I would believe that those would be the most important, and the most at the forefront within case management, or again in any behavioral health setting. Thank you for your time and for viewing my slide. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a great night.